What do you think of Happy Ken back here?
I think Happy Ken looks very happy, and I'm glad to be next to him.
Nice. Well, how do you know Ken?
I think I first met Ken at East West Players. I think I was doing a show, and I think Ken was probably doing props. So I'd always kind of see him milling about, setting things and removing things, and he always seemed to be working really hard, and he was really serious.
Nice. Not back here, though.
No, he's very happy here. I don't recognize this Ken very often.
All right. Well, do you have a favorite memory with Ken?
Favorite memory? I think when I first met him, he would bring around food, mochi custard, to the rehearsals. And I think that was my first association with him, was this guy makes this really good mochi custard, and I asked him for the recipe, and he gave it to me, and I've been making it ever since.
Perfect. Did you make some for him tonight?
I did not,
Ooh.
but maybe I'll bring some later on.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
What do you think of Grumpy Ken right here?
What I think of Grumpy Ken, I think it's a spitting image of Ken. A lot of people don't know his grumpy side, but I do. I see mostly his grumpy side.
Well, how do you know Ken?
We met Ken, God, that's a loaded question. Actually, I met Ken over 10 years ago doing a play. He was the prop master of a play that I did, and I found out he was from Hawaii like me, so we became frenemies, and we've been friends ever since. So, yeah, I don't know. You might want to ask him about that.
Okay, I will.
We're friends, but happy birthday, Ken. We love you.
What do you think of Grumpy Ken right here?
That's it. I think we can change that smile on his face pretty soon. That's why That's why I picked the Grumpy Ken, because it's going to be a nice surprise for him. I think it's going to be really fun for him to do this, to have this happen for him anyway.
Well, how do you know Ken?
I met him through actually Mike Lee, and we went to a couple of luau's together, and he's just a great guy, and love to be here for him for this day.
Awesome. Well, do you have a favorite memory with Ken?
Geez, just his smile. It just really, he's just a very warm person. So anytime I get to hang with him, it's just a great time.
So, what do you think of Grumpy Ken?
He's my idol. I worship Grumpy Ken. I want to be as Grumpy Ken as I can be.
You're doing very well.
Trying very hard.
Well, how do you know Ken?
We go back a long time to when I was one small keiki. He taught me how to be grumpy.
What's your favorite memory with Ken?
When he taught me how to be grumpy.
That's awesome. Thank you. So how do you know Ken?
I met Ken when I first moved here to Los Angeles at East West Players in the early mid-'90s, I think it was. And he did wardrobe and props for one of the first shows I ever wrote. And I think for almost every show, almost every play that I've ever had produced, he's been a part of.
Yeah, I could tell you and Ken are very close.
Yeah. I love him, even when he's grumpy, He's just a lovable guy.
What are do you have a favorite memory with Ken?
Oh, geez. Gosh, it might be the time that I locked myself out of the house that I was staying at, and he had the key, and I had to go meet him at the Silver Lake Reservoir, and he waited for me halfway around his walk so I could get the key from him. And I thought that was really nice, and he was really grumpy about it.
How do you know Ken?
I live in one of his houses currently.
So you know Ken very well.
Yes. So I'm right across the street from him. And so I hope I'm a good tenant. Pay my rent on time.
Do you have a favorite memory with Ken?
Favorite memory. It's just his, hanging out with him and at his place in general. It's just always fun. It always feels like home. Because my parents are from Hawaii and they, moved back there. So so it's like having Hawaii here, just to be and hang out with Ken and everything. So it's really cool.
So how do you know Ken?
How do I know Ken? Wow, years and years of theater, I guess. Way back to the 80s, I think, when you first joined East West Players, and I was kind of hanging around doing stuff myself. So it's been a long time.
What are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, I think just seeing all the people, you know. Was following on all of the RSVPs on the Evites, and it's like, wow, everybody's coming out for this. And who wouldn't? I mean, come on, 80 is a big achievement. So Ken's actually the exact same age as my dad. And it was funny because he helped out on a film that I made, and he was doing props and helping art direction, and people thought he was my dad, which I always thought was really funny. But he's a great guy, a great talent, and so I'm just happy to be here.
Do you have a favorite memory with him?
I don't think I do. There's just too many. I mean, we've worked together. We've directly collaborated on a lot of shows. You know, he's helped me. I've helped him. Working out problems with props. He's helped me paint my sets. I mean, it's just been, a really fun partnership. I'm glad he's been around. He's helped me a lot, and I hope I've helped him. So it's just been a lot of fun.
Hi. How do you know Ken?
I know Ken through Michael Hagiwara. I've known Ken for about 10 years, when he was 70. And that's how I know him. And from his many exploits at East West, I've seen him on stage, I've seen him dance, I've seen him sing, I've seen him on television many, many times. And we're old friends. Happy birthday, Ken. We love you.
Nice. Well, last question. Do you have a favorite memory with Ken?
I remember a particular lunch with Ken, and there was a lot of merriment and some ribald remarks made, and that's my memory of Ken. And and Rodney, who is probably here, and I and he went out to lunch one day in a little Tokyo, and that was just the three of us, and it was quite lovely, about 2 years ago.
How do you know Ken?
I met Ken, when I first started out with East West Players, when East West Players was still at the Santa Monica or the Silver Lake location. So I don't remember exactly when I met him, but I know that was the time I met Mr. T.
Nice. And do you have a favorite memory?
Okay, there are lots of favorite memories with Mr. T. I think the one that stands out is we were doing Manzanar Story of an American Family, the tour, the youth tour. And we had an after party at his house. And he had a karaoke machine set up. And I guess the memory that stands out is him singing, a bunch of us just singing and enjoying, having a good time. Yeah.
Awesome. Hopefully you'll have a good time tonight, right? With Happy Ken right here.
Happy 80th.
How do you know Ken?
Back in 1987, Ken and I used to date, and it's one of the happiest times of my life. And till this day, hold on. Okay, sorry. Just needed a moment. We're friends. We're good friends. Actually, no, we didn't date. Although that's okay. But Mr. T's has been around in the East West Players community, and so that's how we met. And he actually did prop mastering for us in our 2009 production of Songs for a New World. So thanks, Ken.
So how do you guys know Ken?
Well, our parents known Ken like our whole lives, and we walk around she walks around the reservoir every day with him. So, yeah.
With our dog at the doggy park.
At the dog park, she said.
Awesome. And what do you think of Happy Ken right here?
He seems happy, and he's always happy. We never see him like in a grumpy mood, so that's good. Because a lot of old people get grumpy a lot, and so Ken's not old per se, but he's always happy, so he's not mean yet.
What are you guys looking forward to tonight?
Watching all the things that we're going to see.
Like the performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the foods.
Yeah, the food. Like some people are already eating because they're hungry, so.
So, wait, they got an announcement. For those of you who don't know, I am Curtis Takemoto. I am the oldest nephew. to Uncle Ken. And there's actually, he has 6 nephews and nieces, and there's a half niece. But Uncle Ken, as you know, doesn't have any children, right? Because he had all of us. And at some point in our lives, especially like in our teenage years, we somehow went to him to live with him like I did in my junior year in high school. He's always been sort of the surrogate father image. My mother lucked out. They've been in a relationship for at least 54 years from what my calculations were. Much longer than my father and my mother. They've been best of friends. I'm holding a toast because it reminds me of a couple of things. They both love butter. It's like when they sit down to eat toast, half the butter is gone. That's one slice. And if you don't know it, his favorite jelly is guava. And it's in the back for those of you back there if you really want toast and butter and guava jelly. So I have the dubious distinction of doing the toast tonight. Because he's 80 years old, some of you already know he's kind of hard of hearing. So we have a mic. He don't see too good because I can tell you, looking at my car when he drives to Hawaii, it has dents and things and it's like, where did this come from? So this is a visual aid of the toast. Now, something special about this toaster. Many of you have heard about special miracles that's happened through the ages, like pictures of Jesus, on Mary, on buildings, on Fritos, on Mother Teresa showing up on the side of the wall.
Thank you.
Tonight we have a miracle. So when you toast this, you'll see a picture of Uncle Ken. You really have to toast it well. But it looks like it, white hair and all. So with that, if you'll grab your drink, we'd like to wish Uncle Ken a wonderful 80th birthday, the best uncle I ever had. Best friends to all of you, glad to see all of you here. But let's do 3 bonsai. Bonsai! 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 Bonsai!
Please welcome our out-of-town guest Gerald from Santa Rosa, Janice and Curtis from Honolulu, and Henry and Claudio from San Luis Obispo.
Here, Rob, just keep it on one. Ashley has some interviews to do.
Oh, okay. So I can't move both at the time, so I'll just stop this. Can you just make it? We have to interview about 20 minutes because the show's over an hour.
So,
I'll come back out in 15 minutes. Okay.
Ken, this is not part of the big show yet, but Dan Taguchi and Alvin Ying wanted to do a little something for you special, so that's going to happen right now. So you can either sit there or wander around. Alvin, are you ready? Alvin Ying, otherwise known as the Hawaiian Elvis. Oh yeah. Ken.
inapali, lele hune mai, la inapali. Just a malihi stranger here in town, and I see the waterfalls of a high up on the town. Falls the water down from the cliffs. Falls the water down from the cliffs. Aina ia mai ana kapuana o kahiva o akaka kaumai lailuna lelehu mai la inapali lelehu mai la
Hi. How do you know Ken?
I walk with him.
Nice. What's your favorite memory with Ken?
Walking with him.
Anything you want to say to Happy Ken right here?
Hi, Ken.
Thank you very much. How do you know Ken?
When I first came to LA, I did a show at East West Players, and Ken was a costume designer. And the first snatch of Ken's personality that I got was when he brought in some clothes, and they were all really, really tight on me. And he kind of looked me up and down, like with this kind of a face, and said, "You're kind of big for a Japanese girl." I love you, Ken. Happy birthday.
How do you know Ken?
Well, you know, I met Ken in my acting class back in 2006, I think. Yeah. And my favorite memory of him, I don't know if there's one specific one, but okay. He always had these, whenever we'd have like a break, he'd bring in these brownies. The brownies, they're like the mochi brownies or something like that. They're really delicious. I forgot what they're called, oh my God, but they're delicious. I love them. Sorry.
Did you bring any for him for his birthday?
I didn't know. I was hoping he would bring some.
Perfect.
Cool. Ken, happy birthday. I love you. You're awesome. Congratulations.
What do you think of Grumpy Ken right here?
He looks very familiar.
How do you know Ken?
This is my Uncle Kenneth, my favorite uncle.
Is there anything you want to say to Ken today?
Uncle Kenneth, I want to tell you that, you know, when you always ask me, have I ever been to Japan before? Because maybe we should take a trip there. In 1999, I did go to Japan, and I went with you. Remember? Anyway, we can still go to Japan, but we did go once before.
So how do you know Ken?
Oh, hi. Ken and I, we met like 1989. I stumbled into this bathhouse, and he was a towel boy in the bathhouse. No. I was at East West Players doing a play, and he was the prop manager there. He did the show. For his first show at East West Players is when I met him. But we've been friends ever since, and he's been great friend. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite memory with Ken?
Whoa.
That you want to share?
I want to share. So we were in this bathhouse, and no, just kidding. And he ordered a Diet Coke, and they only had like 2 ice cubes, and no, just kidding. He always has Diet Coke with 2 ice cubes, so that's what I was talking about. Sorry, Ken.
I like the memory. Awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry?
You can say, is there anything you want to say to Ken today?
I hope that's not you in that ambulance right now, because we're still waiting for you to get here. But anyways, man, Ken, thanks for being such a great friend and supportive to me all these years. And I swear I will pay you that money I owe you one day.
How do you guys know Ken?
Well, you go ahead. You go first.
I know Ken from East West Players.
And so do I.
Costumed and propped and been our all-around great guy, Uncle T.
And I wrote a very short one-act play some years ago, and Ken was kind enough to be my lead in my one little play that I wrote. And I'll never forget it because he did a fantastic job.
But we want to cheer him up because he doesn't look very happy.
So Ken, if I had some sashimi or sushi, I'd be giving this to you, but you'll have to just pretend.
Happy 80th birthday, Ken!